Hey, what's up? Seventine here with this week's weekly roundup. This week we have Conker Canned, VR on consoles in doubt, and Valve hardware revealed. It was revealed earlier this week by a former Microsoft developer that the beloved Conker franchise is being thrown around Microsoft Studios looking for a developer to reboot the game. However, it seems that Microsoft only wants the game out as a forerunner to the future IP reboots of Perfect Dark and Banjo in 2016 and 2017. Microsoft has apparently approached numerous development teams under their umbrella looking for the game to be developed by the end of 2015, with the game's initial talks of development occurring in spring of 2014. With numerous approaches has come numerous rejections due to the incredibly short development window of the game, Insomniac being the most hopeful developer to take on the project, being one of them. A reboot of the Conker franchise has since been cancelled, with design documents being deleted and the future of Perfect Dark and Banjo reboots being thrown up into the air. World of Warcraft is introducing a new currency to the game that will enable players to play the game for free. Well, free depending on how much you value the in-game gold currency. Players will be able to buy a WoW token from the World of Warcraft store, each token amounting to a full 30-day subscription to the game. The player that buys the token is then able to sell it on the auction house for the in-game currency gold, thereby allowing players to play for free once activated. Some safety nets have been put in place with the tokens though, only allowing a token to be sold once, a method employed to stop accounts being hacked for said tokens, while also preventing players from creating stockpiles of them and playing the market. Virtual reality for consoles looks to be in some trouble, with the console developer working with Sony's VR headset Morpheus bringing up numerous problems inherent with virtual reality and consoles in particular. With consoles being pushed to their limits in terms of hardware limitations already, and VR requiring engines to render two scenes at the same time, games using virtual reality technology will have to compromise 50% of the GPU's power, a trade-off that game developers obviously won't be thrilled about. While the same is true for PCs, you are also able to throw more graphical processing power at a PC to deal with the VR overheads. The PlayStation 4 developer then goes on to describe the incredibly niche market VR on consoles will create, with the Morpheus headset estimated at $200 on release. All these points are quite concerning, especially if Sony plans on making Morpheus a PlayStation-only accessory. Developing games has never been easier to get into than right now, especially with major engine developers offering their engines free of charge. Unreal Engine 4 was the leading force, trashing their monthly subscription of $19.99 in favour of a free entry model where you only have to pay Unreal a small percentage in royalties once your game is launched. Valve's Source 2 was next up and revealed to be free to use for developers. The only catch, if it even is a catch, is that any game developed on Source 2 has to be sold on Steam. Not exclusively, but it must be available. Unity 5 also joins the mix, although not a change to free to use, but it's a brand new engine that's still free to use nonetheless. Valve has revealed a bunch of hardware due to officially release and become available to purchase sometime in November. A new streaming-only piece of hardware was revealed and will be a way to get your PC's performance in games anywhere around the house. For $50, you'll be able to sit on your couch in your living room playing games in 1080p. Alongside the streaming machine comes Valve's new controller that is attempting to emulate keyboard and mouse accuracy on a controller. There is one oddity to the controller, however, and that is the placement of the X, Y, A, and B buttons. For those of you that have a Xbox 360 or Xbox One controller, imagine these buttons where the main stick is. Now imagine having to press the X button a lot. It's a little bit uncomfortable. Nevertheless, these products plus the release of Steam machines will be coming sometime in November. Electronic Arts has decided that it's time for Maxis Emeryville to be closed. The developers behind The Sims 1 and 2 as well as Spore and now their final game, SimCity. The decision to close the development house is more than likely due to the recent failure of SimCity, with the game being online only and having broken gameplay. Some developers of the studio have been offered jobs inside Electronic Arts, including a small team to continue supporting SimCity into the future. That's it for this week's weekly roundup. Let me know what you think of this week's news, and I'll see you guys next time.